There's a lot to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies these voices, stories, and reports that make the difference. This is Agidigbo News, 88.7 FM.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio, Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening, welcome to News Around the World on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Wuraola Yusuff. The headlines: NCC and DPC signed Memorandum of Understanding on Data Privacy Enforcement. Oyo government to establish one secondary healthcare facility in each geopolitical zone of the state. United Kingdom Prime Minister Starmer apologizes to Epstein's victims for appointing Mandelson, believing his lies. Ukraine, Russia end second round of peace talks with agreement on prisoner swap. New meeting. 32 athletes begin Commonwealth Games campaign in Asaba. Now the details. The Nigerian Communications Commission (NCC) and the Nigeria Data Protection Commission (NDPC) have signed a Memorandum of Understanding to deepen cooperation on data privacy and protection enforcement in the telecommunications sector as regulators intensify effort to safeguard Nigerians' personal information in a rapidly digitizing economy. The MOU was signed today at the NCC headquarters in Abuja, with officials from both agencies describing the agreement as a critical step towards stronger, coordinated regulation of data controllers and processors operating in Nigeria's digital ecosystem. Speaking at the ceremony, the National Commissioner of the NDPC, Mr. Vincent Olatunji, said the global shift towards stricter data protection was driven by the need to protect citizens from misuse of information shared in public and commercial spaces, stressing that personal data was a fundamental right. Mr. Olatunji described the telecom sector as strategic to Nigeria's socio-economic development, noting that nearly every Nigerian owned at least one mobile line, resulting in massive volumes of personal data held by mobile network operators. The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Wuraola Yusuff, has disclosed plans by the state government to establish at least one secondary healthcare facility in each geopolitical zone of the state, adding that international grants have been accessed to facilitate the initiative. Governor Makinde made this known during the official induction of 3,933 newly recruited primary healthcare workers into the state workforce, a move aimed at addressing human resource gaps in the health sector and improving the staff-to-population ratio across Oyo State. Agidigbo FM News correspondent Oluwapemi Bamidele was at the event. Here's the report.
After embarking on construction and upgrade of 351 primary healthcare centers facility in each ward of Oyo State, it became necessary to provide competent medical professionals and healthcare workers to complement this infrastructure and improve healthcare accessibility to the grassroots. The newly recruited healthcare workers in the state expressed deep gratitude to the state governor, Engineer Wuraola Yusuff, for the opportunity to be absorbed into the state workforce, as they could not hide their excitement during their induction program. Addressing the newly recruited healthcare workers, Governor Makinde acknowledged that they are all employed on merit, encouraging them to be committed to their new responsibility as the state government would ensure their career and engagement is rewarding. Governor Makinde also emphasized that he would remain dogged in transforming the health sector to the benefit of the people, while assuring that even beyond his administration, they would remain employed and their welfare prioritized.
My appeal to you as you get inducted into your various positions is that please try your best for your state, and the people of your state will be grateful to you.
In his welcome address, the Executive Secretary of the Oyo State Primary Healthcare Board, Dr. Muhyiddin Olatunji, urged the newly recruited health workers to demonstrate technical competence and maintain a strong focus of community-oriented service.
The recruitment of 3,933 health workforce across diverse cadres is both strategic and historic, from medical doctors to nurses, midwives, community health practitioners, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, administrative staff, and security personnel.
In their separate remarks, the chairman of the Primary Healthcare Board, Honorable Awule Dada, the representative of the state's local government chairman, Honorable Ibrahim, the representative of World Health Organization, Dr. John Ajayi, and representative of the Nigerian Medical Association Oyo State Chapter, Dr. Solomon Olaoye, all commended Governor Seyi Makinde, noting that in Oyo State, the primary health care is no longer treated as a peripheral aspect of the health system, but is rightly positioned as its foundation.
So I want to appreciate the government once more for this kind gesture, and I want to face the inductees. It is important to work within the ethics of your profession.
Let's go to Subel, to Hospital Management Board, to different agencies, even mentioned civil servants. He has employed so many.
The high point of the ceremony was a presentation of Leadership Merit Award of Excellence to Governor Seyi Makinde by the Oyo State Health Sector family, alongside the official launch of the State Primary Healthcare Board Operational Guidelines. Oluwapemi Bamidele, Agidigbo FM News.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has accepted the apology tendered by Honorable Ibrahim Shitu over a defamatory statement and video that breached the ethics and standard rules of the House. The apology, which had earlier been submitted to the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges, was formally read on the floor of the Assembly by the Clerk of the House, Barrister Muraino Taiwo Akinola, during the plenary today. In the written apology, Honorable Shitu expressed regret over the statement and video, acknowledging that his actions fell short of the ethical standards expected of a member of the Assembly, and also admitting that the conduct constituted a breach of House rules and had the potentials of bringing the legislature into disrepute. Ruling on the matter, the Speaker of the House accepted the apology, describing the acknowledgement of error and expression of remorse as important steps in preserving the dignity and sanctity of the Assembly. The Speaker further reminded lawmakers that their conduct in public spaces reflects on the image and credibility of the Oyo State House of Assembly, stressing the need for all members to uphold the highest standards of discipline, decorum, and accountability. The kitchen has always been the heart of the home, and the tools used in it have changed a lot over time. In the past, cooking was done using simple, traditional utensils that required time and effort but were closely connected to nature. Today, modern kitchens are equipped with advanced utensils that make cooking faster and easier. Agidigbo FM News correspondent Blessing Akinloye reports on the old age and new age kitchen utensils. Here's the report.
In the olden days, people, especially in the rural areas, used traditional cooking methods like firewood, charcoal, clay pots, and plates to prepare and consume meals. Old age cooking methods and kitchen utensils might be slower and stressful when compared to modern methods, often relying on intuition and time-honored techniques. On the other hand, modern cooking leverages technology like microwaves, pressure cooker, and air fryer for efficiency, consistency, and speed. While traditional method promotes healthier, nutritious, and deep-flavored meals, modern methods offer convenience and precision. Speaking with Agidigbo FM News, Mrs. Aminat Famoriyo explained when it comes to cooking methods and utensils.
I prefer old kitchen utensils to modern kitchen utensils because of the special flavor the old kitchen utensils gives my food. For example, cooking with firewood gives my food a very sweet flavor and more aroma, especially when cooking jollof rice.
Today, we use new age kitchen utensils which are more advanced and make cooking easier, faster, and more convenient, but they are mostly depend on electricity and may not last long. In a separate interview with Agidigbo FM News, Ms. Oyeronke explained that old kitchen utensils are not good for hygiene.
I think I prefer the modern days utensils to the olden days. Because let's say, for example, I'm trying to keep my food warm. In the olden days, we wrap our food in clothes, which is not a very good hygiene. But in these days, we have a lot of food warmer that can keep your food warm for as long as you want.
Many homes today combine both using modern appliances for speed and traditional utensils for special meal and better flavor. Speaking further with Agidigbo FM News, Ms. Olaide explained the hazards in using old age kitchen utensils.
Modern kitchen utensils are more safe to use than old kitchen utensils. Using the old kitchen utensil, especially firewood, can cause a lot of damage to our health, especially the eyes. The smoke that comes from firewood can cause problems for the eyes.
In conclusion, both old age and new age kitchen utensils are important. Traditional utensils help preserve culture and can improve the taste of food, while modern utensils make cooking faster and easier. Many homes today use both types to enjoy the benefits of each. Blessing Akinloye, Agidigbo FM News.
Now it is time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kuliamza studio, Agidigbo FM. United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola. Sir Keir Starmer has been asked to give files relating to Peter Badus's appointment as UK ambassador to the United States over to Parliament Intelligence Committee after a rebellion by Labour MPs, although the Prime Minister confirmed that Madison completely misrepresented the extent of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and lied throughout the process. Madison took up the role as the UK ambassador to US in February last year, and he was sacked in September after new emails revealed that he sent messages of support to Epstein, even as the pedophile financier faced jail term for sex offenses. However, Sir Keir has apologized to the victims of Jeffrey Epstein for appointing Madison as the UK ambassador to the US. Starmer promised to uphold the integrity of public life and do everything within his power and in the interest of justice. Ryan Routh has been sentenced to life in prison for attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump in September 2024. Routh, 59, was found guilty last year of trying to kill Trump, then as a presidential candidate at the Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach. In a sentencing memorandum, Judge Helen Cannon said Routh's crime undeniably warrant a life sentence, although his lawyer, Martin Rose, stated that they will appeal the court decision. And that ends the news. From Kuliamza studio at Gidigbo FM, United Kingdom, I am Olushola Damilola.
We shall also be moving to our Maryland studio, United States, for more foreign news.
News from Kuliamza studio at Gidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya. The Justice Department failed to black out identifying information about many of Jeffrey Epstein's victims and redacted the details of individuals who may have aided the convicted sex offender, prompting an outcry from survivors who accused Justice Department of botching the release of more than 3 million documents last week.
DJ.
Reporters' review of the Epstein document identified several examples of people whose identities were blacked out, possibly helping to connect him with women, including redacted co-conspirators in a much anticipated draft indictment of Epstein from the 2000s. The Department of Justice on Friday released what it said was the last of the Epstein files that it was required to disclose by law. But the document have prompted widespread outcry about a continued lack of transparency and justice for Epstein's many survivors. A Justice Department official said in a statement that any fully redacted names are of victims, and it has been scrambling to fix the improper disclosure of victims' information. Ukraine and Russia concluded a second day of U.S. broker talks in Abu Dhabi on Thursday to end Europe's most destructive conflict since World War II, agreeing to a major prisoner swap, the first such exchange in 5 months, according to officials. U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, said that the delegations from the U.S., Ukraine, and Russia had agreed to exchange 314 prisoners of war. Witkoff said in a post on X describing the peace talks as detailed and productive. And that ends the news from Kole Amzat Studio, Agidigbo FM, United States. I am Oluwatosin Soya.
And now the exciting world of sports. A total of 32 Nigerian athletes, 16 females and 16 males, will commence a 6-week campaign exercise in Asaba, Delta State, as preparations intensify for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The athletes draw from track and field events including sprints, relays, jumps and throws, arrived at the camp on Saturday for the first phase of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria AFN's build-up program. The Asaba camp is designed to fine-tune fitness levels, improve technical execution and foster team cohesion ahead of international competition, and the campaign exercise is being handled by a 6-man technical crew led by AFN head coach Solomon Aliyu, who will oversee training sessions and performance evaluations throughout the period. The president of AFN, Chief Tonobo Kokowa, says the 6-week program will help identify athletes in peak condition while laying a solid foundation for subsequent phases of preparation as Nigeria targets a strong showing at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. Chief Okowa stated that AFN remains optimistic that the Asaba camp will sharpen the athletes' competitive edge and position Team Nigeria for podium success on the global stage. To wrap up the news this evening, here is a recap of the headlines. NCC NDPC signed Memorandum of Understanding on Data Privacy Enforcement. Oyo government to establish one secondary healthcare facility in each geopolitical zone of the state. United Kingdom Prime Minister Starmer apologizes for Epstein's victims for appointing Mandelson, believing his lies. Ukraine, Russia end a second round of peace talks with agreement on prisoner swap, new meeting. 32 athletes begin Commonwealth Games campaign in Asaba. And before we go this evening, here is a quick tip. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone towards it. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Wuraola Yusuff. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State government has said the over 1.5 million out-of-school children.
We give you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
The Southwest in Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.